Right, guys, I know we stand between you and some alcohol or coffee or cake, whatever your poison is, so we will try and keep the energy high, but I'm not sure how I can follow Stephen. That is phenomenal work from Stephen and the team over there, so yeah. I think Heather and Nick are going to give him a run for his money, but me, maybe not. So I'm Amy. I'm the EMEA principal at PartnerPath. I'm also the PRM lead for my sins. That means I'm the geek. Diane is our CEO. She's over in San Francisco. She's also a geek. She just doesn't admit it. And we help customers and clients like yourselves to work on strategy, accelerate your impact of partnering. And we also work with the in-partner technology in enhancements and engagement and things like that. So we've been working with in-partner a couple of years. They are a great vendor for partnering with, so I trust them when they talk about partnering. What Dave was saying is true. They know their stuff. But they pull me out occasionally to talk to some more important people, which are actually customers who utilise this technology. So today you're not going to get me talking too much about strategy or channel, but you can always hit me up on LinkedIn, and we can do that another time. But we're going to hear from Heather and Nick, who are fantastic other superstars of the in-partner technology. Would you like to say hello and just let people know where you're from, what you do? Bit of a Cilla Black moment.
Yeah, sure. Is this on already? Oh, awesome.
Are we on?
Is this working? So I'm Heather Wilburn. I'm the Global Partner Programs Manager over at commercetools. They're a leading composable commerce platform. Previously, in a previous life, I came from Silicon Valley, worked at Google as a founding member of the AdWords program. So I have a very strong advertising background that I kind of bring that hat to the table, and found my way over to Europe about 8 years ago, and on my way to commercetools.
There you go.
Hi guys, I'm Nick. I am Scottish, but I work for Riskified in Tel Aviv. We're a fraud prevention solution, and we started with InPartner not so long ago, and I really did think I had a very good PRM system, and then I watched Steve in his presentation, and I realised that I want to go back and cry. But no, I'm excited to speak to you all.
Oh, thanks, guys. And we've brought Heather and Nick on because they're just going to confuse you with their accents and where they live. So, you know, there you go. There's your diversity for the afternoon. So the session is going to be more about what Heather and Nick have got to say about a number of key questions that we've heard from you guys. And when I say we, I mean the royal we, in partner and consultants like myself and other partners. But actually, there is a little bit of audience participation. And this doesn't mean that you're going to be pulled up on stage, hypnotised or anything like that. But it does mean I'm going to say something really strange. Get your phones out. Because normally, as speakers, are trying to get you to put them away and listen to us. But we're going to have what we call Slido technology. I remember the name today. Where we're going to actually talk about what you're doing. While you listen to Heather and Nick talk about what they're doing, you're going to see what, to the left and right of you, people are thinking too. So have your phones ready. We'll start with talking about partner experience, but Stephen's taken my thunder. He has entirely taken my partner experience means better partner experience, means more engagement, which means more revenue, which is my tagline. But I'm going to pinch one of his. I really like the whole idea of you are not your partner. So we've traded that one today. But it's why partner experience is important, and we talk to clients a lot about this. It's not just marketing fluff. Having a good experience means you go back to that place. If you think about it in general terms of where you go for dinner, if the food is good and the service is great and everything's clean and it was relevant and it had vegan food for you, you go back. So it's exactly the same when you think about users entering the digital experience. And the more engagement you get, the more revenue or other valuable thing that you're after, whether it's services or revenue. It's neither here nor there. So as we start to talk about getting more engagement through digital engagement of a portal, we think about things like enablement. And we talked a bit today as a group about onboarding and how getting new partners into your engagement through your portal, it's really important to have them knowing the right stuff to get them onboarded. So would love to ask you guys about your experience around pulling onboarding and enablement into that onboarding process.
I would say, can I go first, because I know yours is better than mine.
I thought yours was better than mine.
I joined commercetools about a year ago, and our portal situation, we were in Classic, and it was not used very much. And we were in the process of starting a whole new partner program. So I was brought on board to change and update the portal itself and improve it so it was more in line with our the new program that we launched in January. And obviously a big part of that is onboarding. And there were, I would say, so many other fires to tend to, and it's shifting over from a portal experience that was a bit one-dimensional to one that was a lot more multifaceted to align with the new program. Getting that infrastructure in place was really important to me, and I think we're just kind of now at the spot where, okay, V1 is done. Let's go back and look at how can we make this all better? How can we add more automation to the experience? And the onboarding component is still quite manual right now. There's partner journeys that we've added to help partners get to know, these are your resources, this is where you can find things. But we still need a partner manager to point the person to that thing, and we're not tracking it as closely as we need to. And there's elements in how it can be improved. And I think you probably have a more advanced strategy, I think, than we do. So I definitely want to talk to you after this to learn more. So for us, it's a bit manual, but we know it's an important asset or aspect of the program. So hoping to learn some things actually from you guys.
Thanks, Heather. So for me, when I took on the programs role at Riskified a few years ago, I'd never done programs before. I was always partnerships, but I was never involved with the programs. I kind of came into a very, very, what I like to call manual mess. It was, we have a large ecosystem. We're a publicly traded company in the New York Stock Exchange, so the partners are flowing in. But I'm not exaggerating. It was the case of a partner signs with the partner manager. It was me scheduling a Calendly link with all different time zones to try and get the partner to commit to what we called an onboarding session. The onboarding session was then me basically reading out a deck of some enablement videos that my enablement team did, because again, we're a very busy company. They didn't have the capacity to do, sessions for each of our partners. Once we had that, then it was the case of kind of checking in with them and sending them assets, and that was the onboarding. The PRM just totally changed this in the sense that everything became automated. The experience now, and I'm sure quite a lot of you have similar experiences, is partner signs, the partner manager has one job, and then it's all over to me. I ask them just to grant portal access to the partners. That's all they have to do. Then they can go back to selling. Once that is done, our partners are then invited to onboarding, and through the use of 3 sessions of enablement videos, which my team have done, case studies, one-pagers, it's all there. For me, what I think, apart from the fact that it's super automated, they can come back to it. And I feel like the old manual process, not only did it take a long time, it was, we weren't getting the commitment for the partners to do it, whereas now they feel they can go in, they can go out, and it's totally streamlined the whole process. And it was really a mess, and now it's very efficient, thankfully.
And do you still have to shout them to do that one thing? Still have to remind them?
Oh, yeah. Sometimes I get, why does my partner not have access? Because you didn't grant them access.
Brilliant. Just checking that everything's okay.
For sure.
Yeah. So while you've been chatting, you may have thought that everyone was taking pictures of you. Some may have been. But they have been answering the question whether the audience actually offers automated onboarding journeys. And a staggering number there.
But I don't feel so far behind.
Yeah, staggering number are not. So those of you who aren't, grab Heather and Nick, talk about it, talk to us, talk to the guys and girls over at InPartner, because journeys and onboarding is probably one of the very first things that we talk to customers about. It's not as, sorry, I'm going to take the shine off it now, it's not as complicated as you think. Although Nick's is very good, you guys can be Nick and Stephen's and Heather's too. So we've talked a little bit about feedback. Stephen did, and we talked about it in our roundtable actually, about feedback. our point, we do a lot of partner advisory councils for customers, like ServiceNow and others. And feedback's really important, especially when you're getting partners to, truthfully tell you what's missing. Do you use your portal to seek feedback right now?
At this time, no. That's part of the V2 vision. But it's a fairly small partner community that we have, and we work with them fairly closely. So they'll often either give me direct feedback or give it to the partner manager. We host monthly partner webinars that our leadership team often attends, and there's always a time for Q&A at the end of that session, so that gives them some direct access to be able to give some feedback. But in the future that I want to be living in, where I have your onboarding process in place, is to have like an inspiration station component, something in the portal where they can go and drop some feedback. So in the moment we can capture what it is they're thinking or what pain point is maybe hurting them at that time, or they see something and think, hey, this could be better this way. That's the future for us.
How about you?
So I've learned that feedback is critical, especially when you're like a one-man band like this job typically is. Everything's just thrown to programs, enablement, partner marketing. It all just falls under myself, and I know you understand. When we implemented in Partner, I remember I just saw it today when I was going through a session with the implementation team. I have a tab at the top of the portal which says feedback. It's great, but I realized on the case of feedback that the most important thing is just hounding the partners. It's sending emails out with surveys, and what I've really kind of seen is incentives work. I asked a lot of our partners, please tell me what you think of the PRM. Yeah, let's say we have 120 users. I maybe got 40, which is good. It's a third. I offered $20, what was Uber Eats and Amazon. They started responding, and it's helped me really make a lot of changes to the system. I use it also for, like, we do a lot of planning for events, and again, we don't have the capacity to kind of... commercetools are also one of our partners, so I know it looks like we're just friends, but we're actually partners, so that's why we know each other's ecosystems. I send out surveys, and I kind of say, let us know what events you're going to, and at the end, I always kind of have a CTA, let us know how your partner experience is in the PRM, and everything I do, I kind of link it back to the PRM with a survey, and I really, really find it works. And incentives, if you can afford it, do it, because it works. And everyone wants a voucher, and so I find that really worked for me when I get approval.
We say use some humility as well. Yeah. Your partners are an extension of you. If in-partner come to me and say, should we do things differently? God, am I going to tell them how I want them to do it differently? Partners are brutally honest. So if you say to them, we're thinking about upgrading or relaunching, what do you want to see? They're more likely to tell you, because what do they lose? Yeah. We did talk about it a bit on our roundtable, though. The feedback piece that we regularly have as recommendation is make sure you do something with the feedback. Certain clients of ours that will remain nameless, who have used us for partner advisory councils for multiple years, we have seen the same partner people turn up and say, why am I here telling you the same thing year after year? So if you ask for feedback, it's like asking your best friend for advice on your partner. If you don't want to hear bad things, don't ask. If you're not going to pick that up and work with it, you've got to stop asking them, because hounding them is one thing, but they'll only be hounded for so long if they tell you something's broken and you don't fix it, or at least address that you're going to try and do so. We see a bit of that. We asked the audience, it's now a game show, notice, and lots of different ways of gathering feedback here, but almost all of them digital, right? The PAC feedback sessions, are they in person if the person is okay not being anonymous?
Yeah.
They're in person, not digitalized?
Yeah. Yeah. So we meet for 1.5 days that we ask feedback on certain areas or topics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So only one of those really is not able to be utilised and pushed through the portal. You could even use a feedback session through the portal to bring them back digitally for that, but really important to get their opinion while they're sat in a room with you. I love that. Okay. And some people not gathering feedback. But again, maybe it's because you don't have the capacity to actually do anything with the feedback, right? Ask when you've got the capacity. Motivation is what we all need at 4:30 on a Thursday. How do you motivate your partners through the portal to do more, be more, get engaged with your organisation?
So that was actually a huge part of the new program that we launched this year. The heart of it is to increase partner engagement.
Yeah.
And then, okay, well, what does that look like? So we're wanting partners to be more active in our program, to register more deals, to utilize MDF budget, to take all these steps and do all this action, and we point them all to the portal to do that. And so the idea was to have a portal environment that was compelling and interesting and useful for them, so that they would want to come back and keep using it. Because, as you said before, if you go someplace and it's good and you like it and it fits your needs, you're going to go back more. And so we designed the program and the portal so that they all kind of work together. So we want you to engage more with our system. You go into the portal for that engagement, and then there's a nice back and forth that can happen that way. But also, if they want to move up in our program, they have to get points, and they get points for taking action in the portal, for getting training certified, or for the deals that they've registered or whatnot. So the two kind of work together to push that motivation for the partner to be more engaged with our program.
And it's amazing the number of customers of InPartner that are using points as part of their program. Like Jamf was another one that we worked with them on the program, and they use points. And historically, we've always taken a step back away from points programs because the technology wasn't there to support them. I think it is today. So that's an exciting way of motivating users.
Yeah.
We're used to loyalty points, right?
Yeah,
as
well,
humans.
this in particular, so my boss is a big fan of airline loyalty points programs, and that's exactly what it's modeled after. And there's lots of nuances and layers to it, and I don't think that implementing that program would have been possible without the specific technology of InPartner, because we need the ability to be able to track certain metrics that are pulled in from Salesforce, but then we also need to track other non-tangible things, like how many trade shows did they show up to, or other things like that. And this kind of creates a nice environment where we can have one place to track all of those things that are so important for that partner to move from registered to silver, and from silver to gold, and on to platinum.
Nick, how do you motivate engagement and get scale out of it?
I apologise to whoever was at my round table, because I did talk about this. For me, I realised when I took on the role that our partners were not the only PRM system that they're on, which I would have liked. Of course, our competition, they also have, so our partners are with, they're always incentivized to go into each other's systems. But what I've found works best for me, since I've implemented InPartner, every single month I have sent an email out to our partners. I know it sounds like I send a lot of emails, but we do, because we know it works. And I keep it very simple, because I have a marketing team that don't always have the capacity to help with partnerships. I don't know if anyone else has that issue. So I kind of take on this role, and I basically, I created, it's very simple, a PRM marketing library monthly kind of campaign, and every single month I'll go to my enablement team, or I'll go to my marketing team, and I'll say, please give me something useful. I'll look at it, I'll decide if it's good for the partners or not, and we send it out every month. It's almost created like a cadence, and I see it, that the partners are going on to see what it is, and I always try and link it to other assets in the PRM, so they're not, just going on, clicking something and leaving. A very quick example is just, we had our annual conference in New York in July, and we had some amazing sessions from there that were all recorded. So what I did was, I basically took the 7 sessions, and one just went out now because my Apple Watch hasn't stopped beeping with out of offices. I sent out the monthly each session in twice a week over 3 weeks, so 6 sessions. And after the end of the session, if it was on product X, I then linked our partners to the folder in the marketing library, which has all the collateral about that product that was discussed in the session. And the engagement's been amazing. They're going in it, they're not just watching the session, they're then going to the case studies about what was presented, and even some of the partner managers told me that they're getting, their partners are talking to them about kind of, expanding that conversation. So For me, it's all about, you know, thinking creative with emails and getting them onto the portal.
Yeah, we talked a bit about everything coming back to that one place. Stephen's presentation, Neil's, everything's coming back to that one place where you can aggregate that data and then make those data-driven decisions or show off because you've done something well.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nice. To Dave's point, it's nice to be able to say, yeah, we're doing okay in this indirect business because look at what we've achieved. So what digital incentives does the audience run through the portal? What are you running through? Are you adding motivations like Nick? Or not? Not? Oh.
What do you exactly mean by digital incentive? Like, it's like badges or
It could encompass
achievements, something
could
like
encompass all of that. So ways to motivate more engagement from the partners, such as, to Nick's point, you know, dragging them in and giving them a little snippet of something new on a regular basis, which again goes back to, you know, one of the presentations where it's about being predictable and regular. Communication has to be tell them again. So doing that in different ways and pulling them into the same place, it's really, really powerful. We'll leave that one for the final question, which in our roundtables at PartnerPath, we call them channel therapy, where we say, what's keeping you up at night? But in this instance, we shall call it, what is your next challenge, guys, in terms of your portal? And what's coming next? What's big for you guys? We've seen some amazing examples of utilisation of this tech, but there's always something more, right?
Yeah. I would say, so for us, I kind of like to think of this journey as, especially because when I took over the portal, it was not configured for the program we were going towards. There wasn't a handoff. There was no context for why something was configured one way and not another. So it was a bit like pulling out Christmas tree lights that are kind of all like knotted up, and it's a big, huge mess. And we've just kind of undid all the knots, and now we're at the point where we're checking the light bulbs to see which ones working, which ones don't, and replacing those. So right now we're looking at increasing the different modules that we're leveraging from InPartner, in particular program compliance, to help us better manage all of this point system that we have with our program, as well as the MDF module, so that we can be better aligned with our marketing team, have a better insight as to what's the ROI that we're getting for all the money that we're giving to our partners for activity. And so the next step is then taking those Christmas lights that are now all working and actually decorating the tree. And so that kind of next step for me, I think, is it would be automation, putting in workflow triggers, and kind of creating this auto magical experience for our partners within the portal. And that's kind of the world I would like to live in, as well as trying to get us out of as many spreadsheets as possible. I think everybody's familiar with that challenge.
These are the spreadsheets. Nick, what about you?
For us, it's pretty similar as Heather. As much as there's a lot of automation, I feel like there can be more automation. I've learned a lot today. Oliver has a huge list of things that I want to talk to him about. And, you know, I think the fact that we have our partners on the PRM and I see all these different features, I think there's so much more we can do, like the news and demand thing I've learned about. We use a lot of additional external, like for example, we use an account mapping software, and our partners have to log into that, and just seeing the simple ways that I can get them onto the PRM to go onto that additional software is really going to make life a lot easier. So more automation, and then I think incentivizing and tiers. I've learned like a lot of partners here, you know, they use tiers and automation. I think it's all kind of the same. We're talking about the same thing. It's the tier system, incentivizing, and just thinking of more ways to make it a lot easier to get onto the PRM and for them not to go into the competition and come to ours more. So yeah.
So somebody shared your point there, Nick, saying further simplification of the overall partner experience. Yeah. And I think sometimes you organically grow these things and you have to revisit them and simplify and strip it out. Be the swan with the feet underneath instead of the chaotic swan. So nice to see that there's so many new launches happening. Scary times, but really, really exciting at the same time. So lean on each other. The community around the InPartner technology is phenomenal, and our partnership community is great over Europe as well. So lean on each other that you've talked to today, and the team over at InPartner spend a lot of time supporting conversations that are scary like this. Dave mentioned the ROI workshops, and I had 3 people ask me, how much is that? Ames, how much is that? It's free. InPartner provide this to customers and very strong prospects to help you to be more successful. And we're the same as consultants. We pretend that we're selfless. We want you to be successful for you. But actually, the more successful you are, the more you need people like me. The more you need conversations with technologies like InPartner. So selfless, really. But as you go into that launch, know that you're not alone. There's plenty of people in this room alone who've done this. Never mind the wider global community around InPartner and the partners that sit within the ecosystem that InPartner have created. So don't be afraid is my key takeaway of that. It's all very exciting, but sadly it's not the end of the job, it's just the beginning. There's evolution, as you can see, from those who are literally our superstars in these terms, and other people that you've heard from today. They're still stretching, there's still more to be done. So that's it from us.